people, it's your boy D-Kel. We're back. We're about to go live and fix a couple of our 3D printers. A bunch of them have like little issues that are basically keeping them from printing, and we want to put them back in the lineup. So we're gonna do that. We wrapped up on the Anycubic in the last video. It was some things that was going on. When I get back in the shop, I'll basically describe what that was. So let's get to it. All right. Got our engineer talking when she's not supposed to be talking, people. I'm sorry about that. All right, let's get this camera started. Let's get these lights on. You guys, let me straighten out this camera so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. These lights turned on so we can see from this angle. Sorry about that. All right, so we got the Anycubic here. It is basically printing pretty decent now. I'm going to. This is still on battery. Let's see. Gotta replace the batteries on that. That's fine. So this one is pretty cool now. What we're going to do is take this off the table, and we're going to put our Ender 3 Pro in there. What I just basically want to describe with this, turn it off. It was the power on the Y setting wasn't set correctly, so the Y axis wasn't pushing. It did start printing. I think the one issue that I do have on this printer is the actual Raspberry Pi. So the Raspberry Pi is it must be something within like its Wi-Fi card or something like that. So when we try and send projects over to the actual printer, it freezes up, then it connects. Trying to communicate with Moonraker, it kind of freezes and then it starts, freezes and then it starts. So even small files take a long time for the actual printer to get the file. But it's good. All I'm gonna do with this is probably purchase a brand new Raspberry Pi, reconfigure everything to be exactly like this one, and we should be good to go. So I turned this off. Let me get this off of the workbench. Got a bunch of tools over here. I'm sorry about that. Usually trying to clean this stuff up. It was getting late. I was getting everything set up, and it was tough to get some stuff started. So let me move this off. All right. You guys are going to see my back for a second. Give me a second. Alright, we got a bunch of printers over here we got to work with. So let's grab this one first. All right. So we got it right here. Switch to this camera. So right here we got the The Ender 3, as you can see, it had a big fail. So it had a big fail. You can see it kind of pushed the build plate off and started printing on the magnet. Pardon me. Started printing on the magnet, so we could just scrape that off. You know, filament doesn't stick to magnetic material good enough for it to be on here. So we'll wipe that off. That can come off. Anyway, we'll focus on that later. So if you can see, the actual hot end is very loose. I'm pretty sure we got damage. See if I can get this with the camera around here so you can see it. Hopefully. See if I can move this over. So you maybe. All right. So it looks like we have damage where it slides at right here. It's very loose. So this is what slides on the linear rail, the attachment piece. So our damage is right there. So we got to replace that piece. So what I'm gonna do in order to take, of course I'm gonna take the whole hot end off. Then I'm gonna take the bracket off of the adapter that's connected to the linear rail. I'm going to take off the tensioner and slide this out right here, and then replace it. I'm pretty sure I have another one over here. Let me check. I do. I'm just going to take cameras. I'm just going to take the linear guide off of this one. They're about the same size. Take it off of this one and attach it to this. So let me get started taking this out. And what we want to do, I think, because when I move the printer, if you can see, I don't know if you can see it, these metal balls inside of here, we got a few of them, a lot of them came out. So that's the reason why it's not balancing itself on that linear rail right now. And the I'm sorry, the extruder is moving a lot. So we'll take that, we'll take this right here, we'll take this and transfer it on to here. Got a garbage bag over here. Okay, so let me get to this, get my tools out. Here, let's find the one that we need. There we go. All right, there it is. So we'll start on this side. We'll start on this side, taking these off. Take this side off. I'm gonna sit them here so they can sit on the magnetic plate. Take this off. And it comes off of here too as well. that. This one comes off. We're totally unplugged right now. There's nothing electrical connected to this. Like I said, when you start sliding stuff back and forth, it will give it an electrical charge. So I am going to disconnect these. You can see I'm going to disconnect this right here, the ribbon cable to the hot end. That's going. Take that off. And now let's get the other angle. So now we're going to take this part off. See how it's flimsy? Like I said, it lost a lot of the actual little balls that guided along the rail here. So we got a lot of movement in there. I'm going to remove the tensioners, the belt tensioner at the bottom. So I'm going to take it off of this side. I need a bigger hex. Let's see if this one works. All right, this is for the tensioner. And with this, we are going to take this all the way off because we need that to slide. And if you can see, hold on before I start. Let me see if I can get it from this angle. Right here, these are one of the balls right here that came out of there. So that's what we're missing, and that's why it's not balancing itself. It must have lost a bunch of them. All right, so we got that loose. If you look, you can see from this angle, I'm kind of far. I'm gonna take this down so you can see it. Right here, the belts are connected. All we're gonna do, try and move this camera over. See if it's back here, if you can see it. I can't really see it myself. We got the power unit in the way. Let's take a look. No, you still can't see it from that angle. See, but if you can see, let me step. My white shirt can be the background for it. So right here and right here are where the belt connects to the hot end bracket. So we got to remove those. I want to try and get an angle so you guys can see me doing it. That's perfect. Get that in focus. See if it focuses. No focus. Maybe. Start working with the cameras. There we go. So just take it out of the groove right here. Use my other hand. I loosen up the belt, so this should be pretty easy. All right. Take this one off as well. All right, so they're off right now. So keep this camera kind of close so you can see what's going on here. All right. So, in all actuality, I just want to take these 4 screws out. I'm going to leave these 3 on. I want to take these 4 screws out in order to disconnect it from the rails bracket. Sorry about that. I say it all the time. I could never be a doctor, man. My hands are too shaky, too shaky. Alright, we got that off right here. Boom. It looks a little bit different. The size on this thing is a bit different than this one. Let's see. And that's probably not a good thing because it will limit our movement on the x-axis. Yeah. It's very different actually. Alright, so right now I'm taking the tensioner off. I'm going to slide this out. So yeah, as you can see, it lost all of the little metal balls inside, which was holding it in place. Ah man, that's not a good thing that we don't have a size that we need. Is that too big to go in there? Yep. So we're not totally lost in the dark. It's just it might be a little bit more work. So what we could do is I'm going to slide this off. I'm going to slide this one off right here, right? And see what we got in here. Can we replace these? Can we replace these? I can't tilt this, so. Sorry. Get that one there tight. Can we replace these and put them in there? They look like they're the same size, so let's see if we can do that. I need is my tweezers. There's one. Let's see, is that damaged or is that grease? That's grease. So no damage. It's a good thing it's no damage right there. So I need a better tweezer. I'm sorry. So definitely going to take a long time, man. good thing, one thing I do have is patience. All we need is one more on that side. Alright, that's good right there. A lot of times with these fixes and these repairs, you do a lot of this stuff and you might need to order new stuff. Try and repair as much as you can without going inside, you know, your own personal or business account. So that's what we're doing here. I thought maybe I could just replace the actual piece, but with it being a different size, it does not match up and it will not help us. So now, all of these are replaced now. So you can see it. So all of these are replaced now. We're gonna put it back on this rail. All right. Let's lift this camera up a bit. We're gonna go focus on that area right there. All right, and we're gonna slide this on this side. Matter of fact, let's clean some of this stuff up before we start putting that on. Let's clean this rail up. All right. Because we put lubricant, we put lube grease on there the last time, and that was a mistake on me. We got to put lubricant oil when it comes down to linear rails. All right, let me clean this up a little bit. Put that back in there. That's in there. And we're going to slide this on the side. So let me make sure we don't have any damage here. Looks like it's damage on that. If this works, I'm only going to put it on here temporarily, and then I'm going to replace this because we got some damage over here. Yeah, we got some damage right here. So I'm going to slide it on. Lost some. Yeah. See if I can find them. Looks like we lost about 4 of them. One back here. This is the one I was borrowing from, or taking from. I'll just grab some from you again. So in order, so I'm probably have to go back through the process with this thing. In order to get this on without losing these, I'm gonna have to take this rail off. Alright, so in order to fix this, put this back on without damaging, without losing the marbles inside, I'm going to take this rail off. So let's back up a little bit, straighten them out, and we're going to take it out. It's my actual tools right here. Going to be a pain in the butt because I don't know how these work. It might be easy to take off, but it might be harder to put back on. Now, boom, they're off. It's off. So what we're going to do in order to put this rail back on, see if we can get this to lean down some. All right, I'm going to remove this. This and these screws we got to be careful with. Remember, these were the adapter screws that went on the side of the adapter. I'm gonna sit them right next to that, and these went on and attached to the linear rail bracket. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take this and slide it through it, find the groove. Popped out, right? I may have an issue with this bracket itself, but we can get these on without losing our marbles. And literally losing our marbles. Okay. here, maybe I'll grab this. Let's see it. What? That's what this is for. Got it. See if we can do this. Just take our time. Side again. I lost 2 in the process, but bounce on there, and it's stiff. Lift up the camera. Bounce on there and it's stiff. No movement. It's going along like it's supposed to. All right. Let's back you up a bit. Focus, and let's get this camera involved a little bit. All right, so we're going to put this back on. And as we said before, when we actually installed this thing, see if I can get it on this one. Yeah. That's on the side. Trying to think, what's the best way? Have it a bit lower so that you can get more height at the top, or put it right in the middle. I think I'm gonna have it a bit lower. All right, so we're gonna start from the center. Actually, okay. See somewhere it is. Here we go. Just want to make sure we're straight, so we're going to use our digital caliper to make sure we're good on both sides. I think this one's about to run out of batteries. Okay. So let's see how it physically look. about at 1 mil exactly right there. A little bit off right here. Just line it up, make sure it's straight. Alright, definitely straight. So we're gonna go inside out. I'm doing this just loosening it a little bit, so when I go back right, it catches inside. Get up to here, now we're gonna go to this one. Like I said, I'm pushing in, letting it be loose a little bit. I'm coming back tight, so that it catches. Same thing right here, loosening it up a little bit. And going back tight. Make sure it catches the rail. And we're gonna go on this side. Loosen it up a little bit. We're gonna go back tight. Make sure it catches. Alright. Loosen it up a little bit. And then tight. Our rail is on there extremely tight. We got free movement. Like I said, I'm gonna put some lubrication oil on there. You know, make sure it's going across real smooth. Matter of fact, I got some here right now. No lubrication grease. No diddy, pause. No lubrication grease. You want to use oil. So I'm just dropping a few dots on top. Okay. So, back and forth. Back and forth. Make sure it's flowing properly. Feel a bit of resistance right here. Alright. We're going to put some drops here, let them fall down into the bottom, because if we put them on, we try the bottom, but I don't have enough in here to do the bottom. Right? Let those drop, fall. Get on the bottom of it. Making sure that's good. Take some of this, rub it on the bottom. Rub it on the bottom. Take some of this, rub it on the bottom. No, this is not a diddy party. But we're rubbing the lubrication on the bottom. Excuse me. All right. There we go. It's here. It's clicking. It's clicking the X stop. Nothing's dropping out the bottom. That's good. Okay. So now that we're all greased, not greased up, but lubed up, oiled up, we're going to reconnect our tensioner, which is right here. Let's see if we can catch it better from the other camera. All right. So I'm gonna place our tensioner in here. Right. Make sure the belt is over it. This had the bigger hex too, if I'm not mistaken, so let me change that out. So we do the same thing here, loosen up a little bit, and then tighten, let it find the groove. Alright, just a little bit, and then tighten, let it find the groove. Alright, so let's see if this stops it. That does not stop it. So there's a way we can do that inside of actual fluid, inside the clipper, to make it not go that far, so that we can bump it. But for right now, we're going to protect ourselves. I'm going to show you how. And we're doing the install. So we're going to protect ourselves with this little piece right here. Put that in there. Boom. That won't go past there. That's how we're going to protect it right now. So at this point in time, let us install the adapter. So goes on right here. We'll get our 4 screws that we got next to it. Remember, this has a change. We're going to still need that. We're going to keep that over here because we're going to still need that to adjust the tension on the belt. So it's to show you guys so you know exactly what I'm doing. It's these 4 holes. So it's these 4 holes right here, 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 and here. That connects to here. All right. Never attach any bolts that's in concession with each other, like from left to right or top to bottom. What I'll do, connect that. It is not in there tight. It gives me room to move around, just in case, just to fit these other ones in. So then I'll connect the opposite side on the lower half. Or if I'm on the bottom half I'm doing first, I'll connect the opposite side on the top half. That is still not screwed in tight. So with this one, if I had more work to do to this, like right now all I gotta do is put the belt tensioner back on here. I wouldn't tighten this completely. If I had to attach something here in order to make this stay stable, I wouldn't do what I'm about to do now, which is fully tighten. So when I fully tighten, that's tight, as hand tight as it can go. Opposite side, if it's low, you go high. Opposite side, low, go high. That's hand tight, good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the other side. Fully tighten this, and then opposite side. Everything's fully tightened, so that's on there good. I said I'm feeling some tension right there. I don't know what that's about. Is that it? feeling some tension. All right, so let me loosen this up. I just did that because because I'm feeling the tension here. I just want to loosen up in the middle to see if I got something too tough. No. So I'm gonna loosen this whole thing up. So which means, because I'm feeling different tension now, I'm not feeling it in the same exact place. It could very much be from, this might be warped, this rail. So let's try and keep some tension on here. So I'm gonna loosen this up, I'm gonna tighten that. All right. Let me start from the middle, actually. You guys can see, loosen this up, tighten it. All right. Find out what's going on here. There's a lot of tension. I don't know if there's something inside of the actual component, but before I wasn't feeling that, so. And it's right here. It's right there. Yeah, it looks like this rail is bent. That's a bit better. So I'm gonna start going from inside. But you know what? Way better. Hopefully when I tighten these, they'll stay the same. Better. Cool. Yeah, this must have been the way it was in the rails, it must have been bent up a little bit. So we're good. That hits that. And we still, like, if those holes would have matched up in this other adapter, we could have still used it, because it's actually this right here that's hitting the end stop. So we could have still used it, but it just didn't match up as far as the holes went. Let me see. Yeah, they were too far off. They were too far off. All right. So now, as before, you gotta see as much as you can. Right? So you got the tensioners that need to go on the bottom of here. So slide that on. It's all the way in there. Okay. Make sure this is wrapped around here. Right? And then we're going to place this. We're going to make sure it has enough slack. It should, because it's very much as close as possible to So we're gonna go here. All right. Put that all the way in there. Push back. Put these up. Forget about them. These are my tweezers I gotta put up. I will forget and leave them all over the place. All right. Push these forward as far as possible. That one already is. And that one is as well. All right. So these are on here now. So we got a lot of tension. So in order to fix the tension, back to this camera, we adjust our tensioner. So remember, we need a bigger hex drive on there. We'll loosen these up slightly. Still not loosened up enough. Loosened up enough. And we're going to pull it in order to get our tensions. Right? So we want it, we don't want too much tension, but we want tension. Enough tension in order to move the belt back and forth. All right. pretty good with it right here. And see, that's what you see how the screen lit up? If you have anything that's attached to like a stepper motor or something like that, when it moves fast enough, it'll create an electrical charge and send power to the motherboard. So now we can get back to wrapping this up. So, get it for you guys over here. So, pardon me, I had to burp, sorry. So we're gonna sit our hot end inside, and that's what's so perfect about the like the Sprite hot end. When you put the adapters on, it's easy to take off and on. So if you had something where you were doing a couple different colors and you were willing to stay there, you didn't necessarily have to change the filament spool. You could just take off the hot end with the filament spool and then put on your other hot end with the filament spool. It's like a quick change out. So this is the heavier one. We don't need the tensioner on there anymore. We'll put the smaller hex back on. So we'll sit it on the actual mount and just place them back in. Actually, I want to start over here. So we're going to put that on. Like I told you, everything is just put on very like snug but not tight. So we'll go over here now. And see, that's the reason why it's put on snug, because I need to adjust that to get that into the hole. So now it's on there snug. I gotta adjust it a bit. Yep, there it goes. Snug, not tight. And last but not least, this way in. So now with this one, since there's nothing else to do, I'll tighten this up. Not super tight. All right. There we go. Back on point, stiff as a board. Fix. Get it back in the lineup. Let's get some of this mistake stuff off. I got a new plate for this thing too. Wonder if the plate I got has a new mag on it. Let's take this one off. That's the reason too. One of the golden rules of 3D printing is no matter how good your 3D printer's been printing, always watch your first layers. Always watch them, because that can that's like one of the biggest steps in preventative maintenance is watching that first layer. If you can see something before it's catastrophic, and save you money. Like I could have used that linear rail adapter for something. I'm not gonna throw the linear rail away, because you can buy the mounts for them, but I could have used it for something. But you know, I had to use it to repair this. And not to speak about anything in the past, because everything's a learning lesson. Everything's a learning lesson. But watching that first layer is very, very much the first step in preventative maintenance. Because you can see all of this stemmed from was the first layer. Didn't stick to the build plate properly, and it got caught up on the nozzle built up on the nozzle, pushed the build plate out of place, and started printing on the plastic, and whatever was dried up, it went across the nozzle and kind of pushed the hot end off of the rail, allowing it to lose some of the pins inside of the linear rail mount. So the best preventative maintenance, always wash that first layer. And yeah, granted, stuff can happen after the first layer, but the first layer is the most important because that's the foundation of the print. That's why there's so many inside your slicer. That's why there's so many adjustments that you can do in order to what happens at the first layer. Everything else is, you know, it's like G coding. You have to put it in specific to a layer, whatever you want it to do. But that first layer is inside the actual default settings when you go to set up your whatever you're slicing, your STLs, your 3MF files or whatever. I'm sorry you couldn't see that. What I'm doing is cleaning off what's this? Tension going on over there. We good. We good. Back being smooth, baby, smooth. Well, I really do have to see if this magnet. I really do have to see if this magnet causes like a bad print, just because it's a bit uneven. But we do have another build plate for this. But the Ender 3 Pro is fixed. We're gonna plug this back up, you know, do everything we got to do with it in order to let me see the hot end. Oh, the hot end is actually, ooh, I didn't even notice that. I'll let you see it. Wrong thing. The hot end's actually bent. That sucks. You actually can't get this back in. Let me take this off. The hot end block. I don't even know if I have a replacement. Might have to order one. That's what I was just saying. You know, you might have to spend money sometimes. Yep. It's bent. So I'm gonna change that out. Take it off right now. I do have a replacement. I might put that on just for now and get the replacement for that later. Take it all the way out. That helps. Let's put it down here. Just took the holding nut out of the back. See if we can get this off. What are you attached to? Ah. Screw, man. Can I get you out? No, that's actually going to work. All right, let's take off the hot end. That has to go back in there. All right, let's see if I got one over here. I think I do. Give me 1 second. Back. So, rather than get into the whole thing of changing out the block, maybe I'll just swap it out, right? So this is, I'm gonna have to, that line that fell out, huh? Yep, here it is. Gotta remember that, because if I try and, fix this, put this in that other printer I'm taking this off of, I'll forget all about it. So, what do we have here? Okay. Gotta take off our BL Touch because we need that. Right. screws and unplug it from the motherboard. Silicone will keep falling out of there. So what I'm gonna do is put a little piece of mounting mesh tape over it so it doesn't keep falling out. The silicone is inside of there. I'm sorry. Silicone, if you can see inside of the hole, that white silicone piece needs to stay in there. So I'm gonna just put this piece of tape over the top like that. All right. So now put the D-Kel touch on. These screws. Put this one here first. Got it down there. There we go. If you don't have them, get yourself a set of some precision tools. I don't know if I have them in the description below. This set I have, this is a perfect set. I use the majority of the stuff in here. So now the D-Kel touch is on. We are going to go up through the bottom and in to the actual board, the PVC board. On the PCB board. Alright, goes directly in there. Same thing as what we did last time. Put it into place. Give me 1 second. Let me change these up before we get started. Oh, let me put this piece back in here. That's another thing I don't want to lose. See this little piece right here? That's the stop for the what's that? The heat sink. The heat sink liner. So that goes in there. All right. All right, people. Let's put this thing back together. Wrap this up. I'm hoping I don't need this, but you know, I think they come with the hot. A lot of times they come with the hot ends. I don't know if they come with that hot end. That's like the heat sink liner to guide the filament through. All right, without further ado, let's wrap this up, man. Let's wrap this up because we got a few more printers to work on if we can get to them. If not, we'll do a continuation. Hopefully, this one has helped somebody. So, like I said, get it snug, right? Not tight, snug. 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 And the snug. And finally, once we get this in, we'll tighten. There we go. Beautiful. Let's go over to the. There we go. All right. So I'll lube in there, lubed up in there. I think I want to tighten this some more. I do. So let's put these back. Put this one back. And put this one back. Grab a bigger one. Loosen this up. Loosen that up. Loosen that up. Let's get some tension on here. Like that. I like that. Tighten that. Voila. There we go. Ender 3 Pro. Done. We just gotta take it, plug it in, do everything, do all our adjustments, and we're good to go on this thing. Alright, so let me get the other one. The K1, which might take a bit more extensive work. Let's take a look at it. As a matter of fact, yeah, let's take this off. These wires. Let's plug this back in. Back. Sorry, guys. My apologies. I'm doing this with my shoulder. Alright. So. All right, you see me? All right, Creality K1. This right here, let's lift these cameras up. Maybe open it up. You have to see this over the top. All right. Maybe if you can, I don't know if you can see that or not. This one you can definitely be able to see it over. Alright. So, I don't know if you can see. This right here is the problem. Another first layer not watched and caused the catastrophic thing. See if I can bring this down. We need to get in there and work. So what we basically got to do is get rid of this filament. This filament right here is ASA. So before we start heating anything up, we got to put our mask on. So I'm going to take this off. Get a better look at it. See if we got the right tool on here. That's a smaller one. Alright, take those two screws off. So let me get this off. Alright. So this right here is a fan to the PCB board. See if we can get this board off. Caught that. Make sure I know the way these went on. A lot of times before I do this stuff that I'm never taking apart before I take pictures, but I'm gonna put it back together. I think I lost that screw. It fell in there. I know that one didn't hit the ground. That was I caught that one. So, but it's good. I got a bunch of screws. I can use that as a reference, so that's okay. So here goes your spring. And pull this board off right here. First, let's take off the what's that wire go to? That must be the PCB PCB ribbon wire, but not necessarily a ribbon wire, I guess. I don't know what that is. Took the whole thing off. Come on now. It's cool. There we go. Glues on top. Okay. Get the glues on the top. Okay. Let's get the cable for the PCB board. See how close we can get to this. Yeah, that's a lot, man. That's a whole lot, actually. That was dumb. That was another first layer thing, man. So, what I can actually see is the nozzle was torn off because the wires are way up here, which I'm gonna have to get a new nozzle. Let me see what I can preserve. Let me take the PCB board off. Just hoping I don't have to get a whole new hot end. Alright. There, right here. That. So what I want to do with these, keep all these screws with each other. That goes to the top. 2 screws at the top. Bottom's black. Alright. Take the heat sink off. You guys see this? See better from this side. No, probably still from that side. So I'm gonna take the heat sink off here. I need a bigger X. Wow. There we go. A lot of tension on that one. Wonder why. There's a lot of tension on that heat sink. Vent that too. All right, let me see something. See if I can get some more power, because I'm probably need a new heat sink and hot end nozzle, all that stuff. I had a micro switch. I replaced it with a micro switch nozzle. Hopefully this is it. Too big. Here we go. I don't know. Get this out of here. What are you stuck to up here? She look very loose. She look like you gonna wanna let go or something. I don't want to force you to. Let's check the front. What the hell are you holding on to? Alright. That right there is for, okay, I know what this is for. I'm going to take this out. This right here is for thermistor. Taking it out a bunch of times, so. And this one. For the extruder motor, that orbiter cone thing. It's like an orbiter motor. So this is attached to something that it does not. I don't want to force it. Like I feel it loose, but I still don't want to force it. What I'm just breaking is that ASA that's in my way. I just don't know if what it's holding on to. Alright, so my best bet is to take this extruder motor out. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this motor out. Take out the screws on the side over here. This one as well. All right. Done this a bunch of times. And this one over here at the bottom can see, my big dry hand's not in the way. It's one at the bottom down here. Right. Screws right here. I'll put them down here because I'm gonna end up putting the extruder down there. So now, maybe I won't. Should cut it on. So now, let's see what this heat sink is caught on. So I think I took out anything that is of value, or that it may be sticking to. Is there a screw that I'm missing? That's what I'm looking for, to see if there's a screw that I'm missing that this heat sink will be attached to, which I don't see. I'm trying to put some force behind it now. Attached somehow or some way. Maybe it's some filament that block went back up in there and got it stuck. Who knows? But that definitely needs to come out. Alright, let me get a wedge in there. Try and wedge it out. This might need that. Alright, so I'm gonna go in at the top here of this heat sink. I'm gonna try and hit it with the mallet and wedge this thing out. Wires is in there, which means the block ripped off. Ah, okay. Okay, I see it. I see what it's attached to. This right here. The way it was pivoting, I knew it had to be attached somewhere around there. It's a screw that's right here that you gotta take out, and it's another one on this side as well in order to get that heat sink out. Okay. Yeah, I see it. It's more. It's another one up here. I think. I don't see this one going that deep. The other one went as deep as it, but this one don't look like it goes that deep in. I don't know if it has anything to do with that. Okay. You guys can stop falling on me, please. All right, I'll leave it down here. It's very much pivoting on something. Thought that was it. I don't see anything else that it could be on unless you gotta take this thing fully apart. Is the hot ain't going through that rod? Please don't be going through that rod, man. Something real goofy that you starting to see me get frustrated. This is when I go in and I start destroying stuff. Let's see. But that's not what this is for. I'm going to try and break this. This ASA piece. It very much looks like this hot air runs through the rod. Let's see. Sure. Maybe it's something that should get it there, pulls down. Yep, that goes through the rod. Which means I have to take this thing apart. And take this apart. Okay. Let's look what we got happening. Any screws. See that? To the left. Right. Anything to do with taking this apart. And heat sink has to come out there, and like I said, it very much looks like it's attached to that. Alright, I don't think it's got nothing to do with it, but I'm gonna try this. Where you at? Alright, so that blasted that off. Might have to, I just don't want to melt the hot end. Got a lot of stuff going on over here. Stronger than that. I don't know if this strong enough. Wonder if I got a lighter around here. Pull this off. Did you? Listening? No. I'll go that way, it gets stuck. There's some screws on this thing. Guys, right now, all I need is a hot end heat sink. I don't want to break nothing else. This one looks like it's attached. I'm gonna try and get something to heat this up. That looks like it's still attached. With the hot end and the thermistor. So that got pushed out. This is still attached. I may even be able to save this heatsink if I can bend it back Give me 1 second, you guys. Let me try and see if I can get a lighter to maybe able to save that. Let's try and heat some of this up. Put my mask on. So get it soft. I don't know if it's any saver this heat sink. I know you guys. Oh man. Might have to get a whole new hot end, man. I might have to get a whole new hot end. This is I said those first layers are so important. So very important. See if I can twist this with my needle noses, which have disappeared. Oh, here they go. Twist this off or something. I need a pair of grips for these. There we go. So, getting it off. That's it. There you go. Just had to get a grip on it. So what I need is in order to repair this right now, I need a heat sink and a new hot end. Like I said, this is the importance of watching your first layers at all times. A 3D printer isn't a regular paper printer. You have to watch your first layers and make sure that it goes down smooth and that it's sticking. If you walk away from it, no matter how dependable you can. That's how much I like this K1. It's such a dependable printer that, you know, I felt like I can walk away from it. When all actuality, I really couldn't. So now I have to replace my heat sink, just right here. And I bought a micro Swiss hot end, which cost about $100. I had to replace that in order to get this printer back up and running. So always pay attention, and you won't go through this stuff like I'm going through it now. So it was hell getting that heat sink off. I'm hoping that, yeah, it wasn't really anything to it. It was just, yes it was. Yes it was. Now I gotta replace that. I know exactly what. Okay. So now I do have to replace this whole hot end. And the reason being, the heat sink, what was holding it on so much was the ceramic hot end block was attached to these holes that were inside of the heat sink. So these were heat these were preheat holes that was inside of the actual hot end that I just ripped out by ripping off the hot end. I had to unscrew these in order to pull this off smoothly. But now, either I replace these by putting in new heated holes at the bottom here, right by the holes. Which I can do. I do have these. Hopefully it's enough plastic in there in order to keep them in place and to replace the heat sink. But there you go. A whole bunch more work because I didn't watch the first layer. So we're going to conclude this video. I do have another printer that I need to work on, but I gotta make sure I get all the parts for it. But as of now, this video is concluded. I'm gonna meet you guys over there in the streaming desk. All right, so we got the Anycubic Kobra Max fixed. Like I told you, the only thing with that, we probably just have to change the Raspberry Pi out. The Ender 3 Pro is back, so that's a good thing. That's fixed. We'll get that, you know, calibrated and everything and going. The K1, I have to get a new heat sink. Like I said, I have to put the holes, the pre-sunk holes, back into place on the hot end itself, so that you can attach the ceramic heat block. And I have to get a new ceramic heat block from Micro Swiss. So I need some new parts in order to get that back up and running. But we did get to the core of everything. That's really what I wanted to do, was get that big chunk of ASA that's on there off. I was printing parts for the Ender NG, walked away. When I came back, it was just a mess. So like I said, once again, the biggest lesson from that is always watch your first layer. Make sure your first layer goes down good. Don't just put it on your 3D printer and walk away. You can put it on, you can walk away if you want, but come back and make sure that first layer is printed correctly. If you catch it in the beginning, you can, you know, potentially get past something that's catastrophic. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. You know, happy printing, people, and I'll see you in the next video.